Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here playing some more Warhammer combat cards. In this one I'm going to be introducing the newest Supreme Commander to enter the game for the Orc faction. It is none other than Ghazghkull Thraka, who of course already is a Warlord in the game, but now he has an even bigger, even beefier version at 92 points. He's got pretty much the same kind of distribution of attack stats, but quite a bit stronger. As you can see at max level, 160 melee, 80 ranged, 445 health, Furious Charge, and Fear for his dual traits, and his special rule looks really fun, hyper aggressive. Basically, it functions in similar fashion to Watch Captain Artemis, where every time you play a card, it damages an enemy, but this one is better because it focuses on the highest health enemy, and of course deals damage based on how much health you have in play after you play the card. So, to make the best use of this, you're going to want to deploy some cards with high health, and the more you have on the field, the more damage it will deal. Now, if we go over to the collection, looking at the Orcs, one trait that will combo especially well with the special rule are cards with Endless. So we got the 5-point Orc Boy here, and then the Beast Snagga Boy at 9 points. Those are unfortunately the only two I have, but if you were lucky enough to be an owner of the Red Gabo, yeah, both versions of it. So the ranged one here with Taunt and Endless, and then the Red Gabo Surprise with Endless and Deathblow. Both of these are like perfect to go along with this new Ghazghkull Thraka, because when they redeploy, it reactivates that part of the special rule. Now, going back to the special rule, of course, as a Supreme Commander, the special rule does have two parts, and the second part is actually not really that good, because it only activates when your cards are below 25% of their starting health, and it increases their attack stats by 25%, which is quite a bit, but the time at which cards stay at that much health is very short, usually, so oftentimes you will not even see it happen at all with a lot of the cards you play. But it's the first part of that special rule that is particularly good, especially, as you can imagine, in Apocalypse mode. So we've got a campaign here, perfect opportunity to debut this new Warlord, because everything is at max level, and we got 400 points available. So the first deck that I will be showing you here is pretty ridiculous, and it's running 3 Lords of War as bodyguards. We've got the 115-point Stampa, the 92-point Morkanaut with Big Game Hunter and Shield, and then the 85-point Gorkanaut with Barrage and Shield. Now, the reason I'm running those two ones with shields is because, well, at max level they have 4 shields, which means they're pretty much indestructible for the first few turns. As your cards take damage, the amount of damage you'll deal from Ghazghkull Thraka's special rule will get reduced, but with the Gorkanaut and Morkanaut, you don't have to really worry about that for a while. So you just deploy those two first, ideally, and then you just throw down the Endless cards, the Orc Boys, the Beast Snagga Boys, and you can just keep on triggering that special rule, dealing tons of damage to the enemy cards. So let's go ahead and see this deck in action. This is, I think, level 9 in the campaign. So we're up against Darkstrider here. And we do have low initiative, which is also ideal, because if the enemy has the initiative, then they'll be deploying a card, and then we can, in response, deploy a card and immediately make use of that special rule there. So we're going to go ahead and drop the Morkanaut here, dealing 48 damage. Not too much. Actually, maybe we can slow it down a little bit so you can see the animation more clearly. The enemy did drop a really valuable card here, Honored Aun Kais, who has Medicae, so that's a lot of healing already. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the Gorkanaut available, so we're just going to drop the Stampa instead. It does have a ton of health, so we're going to be dealing 100 damage right there with the second deployment. Let's see what they put down next. Ooh, they've got a Lord of War in their own. Okay, well, that's slightly scary, but we're just going to drop the Orc Boy over here. They have target acquired. This is the other advantage to going second with Ghazghkull Thraka, you have full control over where things are going. So obviously you want to put this guy across from the most powerful enemy, which is a little bit tricky here because of course they got target acquired. Once the orc boy dies the first time, the second one that respawns is no longer going to be targeted, so that is not quite ideal, but 400 damage almost from that thing. That is actually really scary. If that damage had gone into the Morkanaut, that would have been pretty bad. But you can see there, from the redeploy, we're able to deal over 100 damage, of course, which ignores the shields on the Supremacy armor. Now, they shifted the targeting thing over, which means, yeah, we're going to have to go melee here, and I don't know, the Supremacy armor might just be able to shoot right through the shield on the Morkanaut. We'll see what they do here. You can see the second part of Gaz's special rule just triggered here, increasing the stats of the Orc Boy, which of course is going to have absolutely no impact because he's just going to die before he can attack. But fortunately, enemy doesn't really know how to use Dark Strider. 381 big game under damage, wow, that's a lot. And oh wow, okay. That was a whole lot of damage right there. Big counterattack, though. The Morkanaut is attacking back for 317 damage. That was a crazy turn. And, pretty low on health. So I think we're just going to go ahead and drop, yeah, we're going to drop the Gorkanaut now. It's going to target the Kroot, dealing 85 damage, leaving them with barely anything remaining. I guess we'll just go melee. And then the enemy will be deploying their last 3 cards. That was a lot of craziness that just occurred. Let's see what they got left, okay? Some weak infantry, broadside battlesuit, that's not really going to do anything. And finally they're actually making use of a Dark Strider special rule there. But not nearly enough to get through what we have on the field. So we can, I think, speed things up a little bit here. Not quite enough to end the game. Oh, wow, they actually killed the Morkanaut. I was not expecting that. Okay. Well, that does give us a chance to bring out Ghazghkull Thraka himself. Let's see how much damage we deal here. From the initial deployment, 110. And then the Furious Charge, of course, does 160. So, I'm glad we were able to bring the Warlord out at the end. Of course, with Fear, he can survive for a very long time. And punch extremely hard as well, so one thing that was kind of missing from this deck is oh, by the way, free pack of orc cards in the shop. Pick that up while you can. As I was saying, one thing that's kind of missing from this deck is that there's no Inspiring Presence, and orcs are actually kind of lacking in the Inspiring Presence department. I guess they're just not really very inspirational, except for Makari, who you could, I suppose, use with him. Obviously, in ranked mode, your deck is going to look a lot different. With only 200 points to work with, it's going to be a lot harder to make full use of this new Gaz's special rule. But, yeah, for those of you who don't have a bunch of Lords of War in your collection, I'm going to build a slightly different deck and see what we can do with, like, all 8 bodyguard slots. Okay, it's time for round number 2, so I've kept the 2 Endless Orcs in there. Then we've got the Squig Riding Loons with Taunt and Deathblow. I think that one is a pretty solid one. We've got the Squigoth. This could potentially be pretty good. It's got Deathblow for its secondary trait, and it has a ton of health, but once it gets below 25%, remember, it will get a 25% boost to its stats, potentially creating a massive Deathblow. This guy is really great. We got some really big vehicles. The Bone Breaker is a nice one. The Kill Rig has all 3 attack stats, so quite strong. And then the Mecha Dread. Slightly higher initiative on this one, so but I think since we're up against Tau, there's almost no way that we'll be going first, I think. So let's go ahead and deploy and see how this version does for level 10 of the campaign. Alright, this time we're up against Commander Farsight, who we do have to be a little bit careful of, because of course when the last card deploys, you can just heal everything back up to full. They're starting off strong here with the Ravarna Battlesuit. That's a really massive precision shot. We're gonna go with... it's not really amazing here, but I guess we'll drop the Beast Snagaboy. and I didn't actually see how much damage that did. The animation was too fast. So let's go with, how about the kill rig over here? Still going to be hitting the that thing, 49 damage, not too much. And we will be hitting it again at least though, and of course we can counter deploy, so that is things are looking alright here. We're going to drop the Mecha Dread over in the center lane, and that's going to hit the Ravarna again for 84 damage this time. It's a little bit better. Mecha Dread has 4 shields, so Beast Snagger Boy dies to the precision shot, comes back, deals another 84 damage to the Ravarna Battlesuit. So right here before the first turn even starts, we've already dealt tons of damage to that thing. And we're going to be able to hit it again, because again, it targets the highest health card every time. So let's go with, let's go with the Orc Boy. And that's another 81 damage right there. We can go ranged, and then the Orc Boy is going to die again. And then one more proc of the special rule, another 81 damage. So yeah, within the space of like 2 turns, we've already brought that massive Ravarna Battlesuit to the brink of death. And they're going with another ranged attack here. Shield Drone is going to absorb a lot of damage though. Let's go with, let's see, the next card we deploy. Starting to get some of the big guys. Let's go with the Squig Riding Loons though. Taunt is also quite useful. It can protect your more valuable damage dealing cards. So let's see, I think we'll go ranged this time. And should be able to clear the board here. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a longer slog, it looks like. Still got 4 bodyguards to get through. And Aon Shi, wow, okay, that's going to be, yeah. This guy is an immovable object right there. 4 shields blocking 158 damage each. And we got a bunch of Kroots coming out, too. Okay, that's a lot of melee damage, but I think the Squig Riding Loons, they actually, wow, they tanked all of that. Finally, we get to see the second part of the special rule go off there. 25% boost to the attack stats, which are getting reduced by the fear, so it's actually still pretty low. But yeah, we can go ahead and let's go with a melee attack here. Oh, the thing is no longer taunting. Oops, I did not realize that. Well, that is not really ideal. 147 damage to the kill rig there. Okay, well, it's okay. We can take that. Squig Riding Loons are gonna go down, dealing 115 damage with the death blow. Maybe slightly less actually, but knocking out one of the shields on Aon Shi. Okay, we still got plenty of health on the field, so the next card we deploy will be dealing pretty good damage, but actually against Farsight. So the damage will be dealt, but then everything will just get healed back to full anyway, so yeah, I guess no point in really Furious Charging either, I don't think. Actually, I take that back. Furious Charge would have actually been fine, because Farsight's special rule activates when his trait goes off. Anyway, let's go ahead and go with a ranged attack here, I think. And we'll see if we can get the second part of Gaz's special rule to increase the damage on the Squigoth before it dies, but actually, nope, never mind, that's not happening, because they're just going with the massive melee attack there. There's the death blow, dealing hardly any damage. That was not so good. Well, it looks like, at least we now have a chance to bring out Ghazghkull Thraka himself, so let's go ahead and bring out the Warlord. 79 damage to Farsight, and then I forgot about that. Bonebreaker with, I think, Melee Scout as well, and Furious Charge. 115 to Aon Shi, boom. Okay, well, it doesn't even matter because Farsight's dead from the Furious Charge anyway, so kind of a lot of stuff going on there, but yeah. I'm really liking this Warlord. It's so much fun with 400 points at your disposal. Now, I haven't tried him out in ranked yet, and that's going to be something that's going to come at a later time, I think. But once I have what I think is a good deck available, I'll be posting that, so keep an eye out for that in the future. Let me know what you think of the new and, I would say, improved Ghazghkull Thraka. Very fun, in my opinion. He will be available in the shop for the next week. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.